All right, welcome to today's game between the St. Genevieve Dragons and the visiting Oak Ridge Bluejays. St. Gen coming in today looking to kind of pick up a win. They're 11-8 right now, and the Blue Jays coming in right now are 19-2. So looking to hopefully pick up another win against another tough team. Today's broadcast is brought to you by SGHS Sports Stream. From live game coverage and podcasting to sports journalism and media marketing, this is your launch pad for tomorrow's future media pros. So looking at today's game for St. Gen, looks like on the mound today is going to be Mackenzie Greer. My apologies to Miss Cook the other day. She came in and informed me that I was mistaking her for Miss Greer on the other game the other day against Clearwater, so I do happen to apologize for that. But it is official today. Mackenzie Greer is on the mound, and St. Gen looking to start the first inning at home. This is the last game for the season at home here for St. Gen, at least regular season-wise. So they're looking to try and go out strong for the seniors as it's their last day of school today. So a lot of stuff going on in the high school world as the first pitch is delivered. Ball low. So first inning is underway here at St. Genevieve. We'll see how St. Gen reacts here. First pitch, foul down. Oh, it looks like it's going to be fair at third. There's going to be some extra bases. And they get the ball in, but not before the first leadoff gets a double. So nice little squibber over the third base and just walks the line for Oak Ridge. That's going to bring up number 9, Kinsley Ogenhall. It's the shortstop. So Greer from the windup, and the delivery shows bunt, and a nice little throw by Staff into third, and they pick off the runner, catcher stealing. So looked like the coach had a steal on, and looks like Ogenhall missed the bunt. And Staffen wasted no time. Throws her out at third. So out number 1 for St. Gen. And the count goes to 1-1 with 1 out. So good defensive play there by the St. Gen defense here. Looks like over at third base today we've got Olivia Beckerman. Inside pitch. Ball count goes to 2-1 with 1 out. On the whole, coming in for today, as far as stats are concerned, both teams are averaging about 9 runs a game, and St. Gen's allowing about 6 runs compared to the stingy Blue Jays, who are only allowing about 1.5. So even though they are both amassing about the same offensive numbers, defensively may be the key to the game here today, as the count goes to 3-1 with 1 out. Looking to try and get another lead runner. A little squib hit that may get in there, and nice catch by the center fielder. And so that ball just kind of hung up there a little bit. And Aniston Kremer comes in again and makes another great play. And that'll be 2 outs. So coming in now, batting in the 33 spot for the Blue Jays is going to be Tristan Berry. Or I should say Madison Ruling. Madison's a catcher for the Blue Jays, batting in the 3 spot right now. She takes a strike for first pitch and fouls one off to right field. So the count goes 0-2 right now, as looks like Greer gets ahead. On the whole, looking at the weather right now, we're about, I don't know, maybe about 70 degrees, not much wind, pretty overcast. Not too bad a day. Ball's fouled off. Count stays 0-2. St. Gen trying to get out of the first inning unscathed here. So if you're just tuning in, Blue Jays start off with a double and then attempted bunt. And it was a missed bunt opportunity, but the runner went ahead and went for it. Catcher threw her out for out number 1. Then we had a fly out to center, and now we got our third batter up with 0-2, 2 outs. And she squibbed one to the left side there. It looked like it was almost right over the bag. And the pitch, and that ball's hit to the left side, and it's going to be foul off the fence. So batter staying alive here. against McKenzie. Greer pitching about an 8.3 ERA right now with 24 strikeouts on the season. He's a freshman. And the count goes to 1-2 with 2 outs. And the windup, the pitch, inside, swung and hit. Beckerman has it, sends it over to third, and it's an easy out, and that'll get him out of the inning. So great job by St. John's defense today in the first inning, and it's kind of a 1-2-3 setup, although not really in that order. And we go down to the bottom of the first. St. John and Oak Ridge are tied. We'll be back in a minute. All right, welcome back. Bottom of the first right now as St. John goes to the plate here as Ava Huber takes to the plate in the count. She takes a strike, first pitch. Ava hit really well the other day against Clearwater. She was really hot, made really strong contact. Hopefully she'll bring that over today as St. John looking for a lead runner on base here to start the bottom of the first. Wind up at the pitch, and Ava kind of half swings, doesn't go all the way around, able to keep it, so count goes to 1-1. Ava batting .373 right now with about 9 RBIs. Not bad for a leadoff, and most leadoffs don't have RBIs as they come in there, so she's definitely an all-around good player. So the count goes to 2-1. Ava can sit on something here and grind it, and she gets a good pitch, but can't pull the trigger, and the count goes to 2-2. We'll get to see how good the defense is for the Blue Jays here as St. John puts them to the test as Huber takes a swing and a miss, and a rare strikeout for her. In fact, that's her second strikeout of the season. And that brings up Alyssa Beckerman, the number 2 hitter. Beckerman batting .396 with 18 RBIs on the season. Looking to try and get on here. Ball high. So the pitcher, Kaylin Deckard, number 31, on the mound today. Just pitching, she's not really hitting, but she's got a neat little wind up there. And nice little screwball pitch there. But she misses it, the corner. It goes 2-0. So Beckerman working the count here. Can really be picky on this pitch if she wants to drive it. As she comes set, the pitch, another inside pitch, 3-0. So it wouldn't be a doubt if Kime has her take a pitch here just to see one go through and make the pitcher earn it here. Base runners is what we need. Good leadoff. St. John's been pretty strong in the first inning most games. That ball's up and out. Oh, he's going to call it a strike. A little delayed call there. I guess he thought it was belt high. So the count goes to 3-1 here. And nice, right down the middle, good swing, good pitch to swing at. And the count goes to full. So Beckerman works the count full with 1 out, looking to try and get on here and help St. John with Chloe Staffen on deck. Beckerman fouls that one off. The count stays full. So if you're just tuning in, St. John kind of 1, 2, and 3 in the first inning against the visiting Oak Ridge Bluejays. Got out in the first batter here for them, and strike 2, or in the second strikeout, Beckerman goes down. So Beckerman strikes out. So 2 back-to-back strikeouts, and that brings up Chloe Staffen. Pretty dangerous hitter for St. John. She's been pretty strong lately, and she's hit a few over the right center field fence. So Staffen batting .596 with 30 RBIs on the season, and only 5 strikeouts. She rarely goes down, so she's a free swinger. As she demonstrates that on the first pitch as she goes 0-1, fouls it off. So with 2 outs down, Staffen looking to try and get some sort of momentum going for him in the number 3 slot. And the pitch, ball up. So Deckard, as I said, has a pretty neat little windup, but her release, and she puts a little pepper on the ball. So St. John will have their hands full today. And the pitch, nice cut. And the count goes to 1-2. And Staffen takes a pretty strong swing at that and just misses. So 1, 2, and 2 here. She got to protect and ball up. And count goes to deuces. So Staffen steps in. Pitcher gets the pitch he wants. And the windup, delivery. Staffen takes a hack but misses again. And that's 3 up and 3 down as the pitcher strikes out all 3 top batters for St. John as we go to the top of the second. So St. John wasn't able to make contact the first round. I'm sure they'll make their adjustments coming up. So we'll see a second inning as we go to the top of the second. Score 0-0. All right, welcome back to the top of the second. First inning was a no-go for both teams as they kind of feel the pitcher out. And for Oak Ridge, looks like we've got number 11, Madeline Schimmel, the right fielder. So Schimmel, the number 4 hitter for Oak Ridge, usually their anchor. See how she does here against McKenzie. As McKenzie sets up and pitch, ball up. Oh, and pitcher calls out. So umpire is calling a little bit of a high strike zone today. Definitely belt high. Hitters are going to have to adjust to that. As McKenzie goes in the windup on the 0-1 pitch. Same play, strike 2. So McKenzie's kind of dialed in here, and we'll see if the hitter Schimmel can make an adjustment. So 0-2 count, top of the second, and the delivery And a swing and a miss, strike 3. So McKenzie strikes out the number 4 batter. So that brings up the number 5 hole hitter, which is number 19, Tristan Berry, the third baseman. Berry hitting in the 5 spot, looking to try and get on base here for her team. And first pitch is way up high and out. Ball 1. So an interesting day on Wednesday for St. Gen, as it's the last day of school for the seniors. I'm sure the ones out there on the field right now are feeling a wave of relief and nostalgia for knowing that it's their last full day at school and tests are done. Maybe a little bit sad too. Who knows? Pitch inside, ball 3. So McKenzie all over the place on this batter. Looking to try and find the strike zone as it's 3-0 count with 1 out. And St. John don't want to put anybody on if they don't have to. As the windup in the pitch, and that ball's out, ball 4. So 4 straight balls there by Mackenzie Greer, and that puts a runner on first with 1 out. And that brings up number 10, Adeline Burnett, the second baseman. Burnett hitting in the 6th spot here. And St. John going to look to try and force an out here. And there's strike 1. So Greer finds the strike zone again. So with a man on and just 1 out, Oak Ridge looking to try and advance the runner, try and crack the scoreboard here with a run. Greer delivers, and the ball's low. Count goes to 1-1 with 1 out. So not, like I said, a bad day today. No wind really, so it's a true day when you're hitting the ball. Delivery, the ball's hit the right field. It's going to float out of the reach of the right fielder. It's going to drop right in fair. Right fielder gets it in, and the runner cannot extend bases as she had to wait for the right fielder. It looked like she had a beat on it and just was out of reach as it hits the line and just kind of sits. So with 1 out, Oak Ridge has a little something going here on first and second. That brings up their number 7 hitter, number 22, Haley Haas, the first baseman. Looks like they're playing back, and there's a swing and a miss, strike 1. So the shortstop, second base playing back a little bit. Third base and first baseman up just a tad in case she decides to drop one. But we will see what the coach has planned. Ball's a little bit outside. And count goes to 1-1 with 1 out. So Greer looking to try and roll a chair here to the batter. She sends one a little low, and it's ball 2. So it's 2-1 with 1 out, 2 men on. As we said, Greer right now has a 8.338 ERA. Swing and a miss. She's got 25 strikeouts, if you count the ones she got today already. And the count goes to 2-2 with 1 out. So with deuces wild, maybe McKenzie can dial up something strong here from this pitch, and from the windup. Boy, she hits that corner right where its umpire's been calling, but no go there. So the count goes to full, 3-2, as Greer settles in, and something's got to give on this pitch with 1 out, 2 men on. Batter digs in, and the pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. So great job by Greer on a 3-2 count, striking out the batter and forcing the 2 outs. And that brings up number 5, Shannon Long. Shannon Long, the DH right now. Looking to put the ball down somewhere. And the delivery, she fouls off the first pitch a little high, strike 1. So St. John working through a little bit of a jam. Nothing severe yet. We'll see if Greer can keep them grounded as she sets up and goes. And the pitch, that ball's fouled back too. So she gets ahead of the count, 0-2 with 2 outs. So it's going to be her choice where she wants to throw this ball. Well, maybe. And Coach Keim calling timeout. Going to go out and talk to her a little bit before the next pitch, trying to figure out what they want to do. So while they talk it over, we'll be back in a moment. right, we're back here and underway, and she throws an upstairs pitch with that ball one. So Coach Keim talking to the players here, maybe giving Mackenzie a little bit of some advice on where to kind of throw this with an 0-2 count as she brings it in. Nice pitch on the outside half. Quick snap over to first base, but nothing doing there by Staffen. So the count goes to deuces wild all across the board, and with nothing on the board, the batter's going to have to definitely swing at something close, and that ball's outside. And so great job by the batter. She's worked the count back to 3-2, but with 3-2, 2 outs, runners are going to go on the pitch as something's got to give one way or the other here. And the delivery, and that ball's fouled off. So we're going to do it again. So with the count 3-2 with 2 outs, two men on second and third. And Long up to bat, the DH right now, looking to try and put something in play for her team. The windup in the pitch, and that ball's fouled back. So Long hanging tight here against Greer. Greer can't let up any. She's got to keep it in the zone. And with the count, with the score 0-0 and the count 3-2 with 2 outs, the delivery, and that ball's hit. Nice snag by the second baseman, Cook, who then steps on second base for the force out to get the girls out of the inning. So just when it looked like it might go up the middle for a run, Cook snags it on a short hop and just takes her momentum right over the bag, and that's going to get them out of the inning. So St. John dodges a bullet at the top of the second as they go into the bottom of the second, and middle of their order come into play, and their 4, 5, and 6 hitters. We'll be back in a moment. So welcome back to the bottom of the second as St. John comes to the plate here. The windup of the pitch, ball one. So Aniston Kramer, the center fielder, in the number 4 slot up the pit right now, sitting on a 1-0 count. And the pitch, swing and a miss. Strike one. So St. John being aggressive, not just sitting and watching pitches go by. They're taking hacks at the ball. They just haven't been able to make contact yet. And the pitch, and the ball's fouled back. And the count goes to 1-2 with no outs. As Kramer trying to get on here as the leadoff for St. John, get something started. So Deckard comes at her with a ball, and the count goes back to 2-2 here. Deckard, the pitcher's last inning, struck out the side, 1, 2, and 3. And the windup and pitch, ball's fouled back as Kramer fights it off. It's a battle of attrition here, 2-2 here between the pitcher and the hitter. Something's got to give with deuces wild. So Kramer digs in for the pitch, and there it is, foul back again, and caught by the catcher as she's fisted. And that's out number 1, so good play by the catcher. And that'll bring up Ava Greer. Ava playing first base today. batting .333. She's only struck out once and has 1 RBI. Most of the time she's pitching. So Greer takes the first pitch strike with 1 out, looking to try and get on, help St. John. The delivery and strike. Deckard, very consistent pitcher right now. Stays within the zone. She goes high, low, inside, and can throw a little bit of an off-speed pitch with a twist to it. So the count goes to 0-2, and the delivery, ball low, and the count goes to 1-2. Deckard with a delivery, and swing on, miss, strike 3, and down goes Greer. And that brings up Brianna Pfaff. Brianna Pfaff, the right fielder, batting .400 with 16 RBIs on this season. And only struck out 6 times. Digs in, and the pitch. Ball up. So Deckard sat down 4 out of 5 players so far. With a count 1-0 and 2 outs. See what Pfaff can do is the delivery, and low, ball 2. Deckard digs in the mound, and the pitch, ball outside. But he called it a strike anyway. That was way outside. And so the count goes to 2-1 with 2 outs. Deckard from the windup sends a pitch right down the middle, and swing and a miss by Brianna. Pfaff takes a hack at it, misses, and the count goes 2-2 with 2 outs. And with deuces wild, let's see what Deckard dials up here on the mound. The delivery, right down the middle, swing and a miss, strike 3, and down goes Pfaff. So Deckard has retired 5 out of 6 batters here as St. John comes up with nothing in the bottom of the second, and that's going to lead us to the top of the third, where Oak Ridge is going to attempt to try and, with the bottom of the order going to the top, try to get on base and see what they can do against the Dragons as we go to the top of the third. Still no score, 0-0. We'll be back in a moment. All right, we're back. Top of the third here as the Blue Jays are going to take to the plate here. And that's going to bring up the number 9 batter for, looks like the Blue Jays. Haley Ward, the left fielder. So, strike 1 by Greer. Digs in and throws fastball. And the count goes to 0-1 with no outs. And ball outside. Count goes to 1-1 with no outs. Top of the third. And the number 9 hitter up. Ward. Ward fouls one back, and the count goes to 1-2 with no outs. So Greer digs in 1-2. The delivery. Ball a little low. And count goes to 2-2. Whenever you're ready. So we count 2-2, top of the third. Goose eggs on the board right now. Blue Jays looking to try and get a lead off. Oh, ball's behind the hitter. She could have probably turned into that. And gotten a little tap, a little love tap with it.
Wasn't a very hard pitch neither.
No, I think it just kind of slipped out of her hand. So with the count full, something's got to give on this pitch. And looks like it's going to be a walk as the ball sings over the catcher's head. And Blue Jays are in business with no outs and a man on first. That brings up their number 1 hitter, number 31, Kaylin Decker, the pitcher. So Decker, the leadoff, hit a double last time up, and that'll be ball number 1. Greer needs to settle in, get ahead of the batter here. 1-0. Ball's inside. Delayed steal, and looks like it got her. And nice job by Staffen to Ava Huber. Staffen sings one down there on a delayed steal, and she gets her, and that's out number 1. So great defensive job by St. John once again today. That's the second person Staffen has thrown out on the base path.
Oh, yeah.
And the pitch, nice shot. And so the count goes to, I guess, 2-1 with 1 out. Greer sends it into Deckard, and ball goes wide and up. So you have a little control problem here as it's 3-1 with 1 out. Deckard looks like a pretty controlled hitter, pretty patient as she sits, and that ball might actually hit her, and she goes to first. So Greer kind of struggling a little bit, finding the zone for the second consistent walk. Now with 1 out, that brings up number 9, Kinsley Bogenpole. Now she's a number 2 batter and shortstop. We're going to see what the coach has her do. And that ball's up for ball 1. Now last time up, he attempted to have her bunt. She missed it, and Staffen threw out the runner. But with your number 2 batter, let's see what happens here. There is 1 out. And the pitch. Yeah, that's ball 2. Looked like it was belt high, but maybe a little inside. And so that's 8 straight balls that she's thrown.
Yeah.
And that looks like that's ball 3. So 9 straight balls in a row she's thrown. So the count 3-0 with 1 out. Ward looking to hit something here. Nice pitch. So she found the zone on that one, and that's strike 1. So the count's 3-1 with the lead runner on first. Only 1 out here in the delivery, and that ball's fouled back, and the count goes to full. So Greer works the count back to full and has a shot at the hitter here. Bogenpole fighting this off, looking to try and maybe hit something to the right side, give her lead runner a chance to get over the right field, over to third, as she fouls this one off again. So with the pitcher, Deckard at first base right now, fairly fast runner, and the delivery, ball's up, and that's another walk. So 3 straight batters up and 3 walks. And that brings up the number 3 hitter, number 15, Madison Ruling. Madison Ruling, the catcher right now, struck out her last time up in the number 3 spot. I won't expect her to do that again twice as Greer digs in here and tries to find the zone. First pitch up. She looks a little frustrated as she backs off the mound there.
Yeah.
You can see a little bit of that in her body language. And the pitch. And there it is. So the count goes to 1-1 with 1 out. So far, Greer's defense has dug her out of a hole a couple times, so maybe they can do it again with the pitch. And that ball is inside, and the count goes to 2-1. As it looks like Coach Kimes getting Somebody warmed up in the bullpen here. The delivery. And the ball's low, 3-1. So ahead in the count for number 15, Ruling. And if you're a number 3 hitter and you're a 3-1 count, you could become a very dangerous hitter if the ball is right in the area. And there's the pitch up, and it is the 5th straight walk this inning. And bases are juiced. So Coach Kime bringing the infield in. It's for a force out at home plate if the batter hits a ground ball to anybody. They could keep the lead runner from scoring and cracking the kind of the scoreboard here. And the windup in the pitch. First one's a little low. And the count goes to 1-0 with 1 out. As the number 4 hitter digs in, fouls it back. So Schimmel, number 4 hitter, number 11, is the right fielder. Runners definitely juiced and primed to run here, I think.
Yeah.
The pitch inside, ball 2. You know, and if you're on defense, you know, you really get frustrated because it's like, you know, we need something. Give us something to do. You know, if it becomes just a pitching game and you can just feel kind of like right there, you feel kind of helpless where, you know, it's like there's no ball in play where you could try to field it. There's not a
ground ball,
anything.
A pop fly,
right?
Nothing.
You're kind of at the mercy of the pitcher trying to find the zone. So at 3-1 with 1 out, bases juiced, the pitch, and that's ball 4. And so the continued walking is the 6th walk in this inning, and the Blue Jays manufacture a run on walks. And the bases are still juiced with 1 out as Coach Kime calls a timeout and goes to the mound to kind of talk it over with the girls about what's going on. I'm sure she's talking with them about what to do in this situation, especially to the pitcher. And, looks like they're going to go with her and hopefully maybe she can find the zone here. Start out strong.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing is, it's funny like anything else, just like with a hitter, it's the same thing with a pitcher. It's all mental. And, you know, you're focused, and then all of a sudden, you just a couple pitches or a couple batters, and next thing you know, you find yourself out of rhythm. And sometimes it's tough to find your rhythm.
Right, and get back into that groove.
Oh, absolutely. She throws another ball here, and with bases juiced with 1 out, it's 1-0. Next pitch, and that ball's hit hard to left field. She's going to be caked under it. She makes the catch, but not before a run is scored on an RBI sac fly. They're going to try and contest the tag up, but it was no show by the umpire, and so the run will count, and the score goes to 2-0. So on a 1-0 pitch, the batter does her job, drives it to left field, gets the sacrifice fly, and now it's 2-0 with 2 outs. And man on first and second. Swing and a miss by Burnett, the second baseman. So Burnett, with ducks on the pond, has a chance to get an RBI. She digs in at the plate, and the count goes to 1-1. Greer's still trying to find the zone. She rears back and fires, and that ball swung on and missed. Snap back pass or throw by Staff, and it bounces out of Ava's glove, and they try to go for the runner at second base, and they let the lead runner over at third score, and so St. Gen falls down 3-0 right now on a snapback throw to first base where it bounces off the glove into right field. And that's strike 3 by Greer, but not before the damage is done. So St. Jen's going to go into the bottom of the third, down by 3 from some very difficult pitching issues right now. And maybe they'll be able to bounce back here with the offense. And we'll see what happens going into the bottom of the third. So going into the bottom of the third, 3-0, Oak Ridge. So welcome back to the bottom of the third. St. John looking to try and get a leadoff on here as the first batter takes a strike. So Alyssa Cook, number 26, the second baseman, looking to try and get on here with an 0-1 count. St. John trails 3-0. The delivery and a swing and a miss, strike two. So Deckard, the pitcher, she's been pretty solid and
Yeah.
effective is the best word to say. Throwing right now. And that ball's fouled off by Cook. And I would say she is probably their number one pitcher, is the reason why they don't score, her opponents don't score that many runs against this team. Because she seems to be very difficult to hit.
Yeah.
As she just kind of mowed through the top of the lineup as we get to the bottom three. And the pitch, and that's strike three as Cook watched that one swing by on the outside half. And that's strikeout number one, out number one. And number two, Autumn Warner comes to the plate. Warner batting .308 with 7 RBIs. Struck out 15 times. Takes the first one upstairs. So how was school today, Tyler? Tyler,
It was
I
all
said
right.
Tyler.
Block schedule is not the best.
Have any tests today?
Not. Oh, NWA.
Oh,
one.
yeah.
About 45 questions. Not bad. But
I'm
I just don't like sitting in the classrooms that long. But
What do you mean you're not on the internet watching videos or playing video games?
it
you
gets
having to work?
boring. I mean, they got just about everything blocked.
Well, there you go. I think maybe the school's doing their job.
Yeah. That's one way to put it.
The count goes to 2-1 with 1 out. Warner digs in, looking for a sweet spot hit here. And a swing and a miss, strike two. So the count goes to 2-2 with 1 out. As St. John free swinging away, just not making contact.
Yeah.
As this pitcher is dusting him right now with some speed. You'd think, though, after their bat, they might make an adjustment their next time up. And she watches that one go by, and that's strike three as Warner goes down looking. And that's out number two. And that brings up Olivia Beckerman, the third baseman. So with 2 outs, Beckerman going one-on-one with Deckard. Takes a hack at the first pitch, strike one. And I will say this about their pitcher. She does not throw very many pitches. She stays within the zone, and she keeps it right around in the area. I mean, she's all business, and she goes right after hitters. So the count's 0-1 with 2 outs. Swing and a miss, strike two. As Beckerman's hacking away, but they're good pitches. So with 2 outs, an 0-2 count, Deckard, the pitcher, looks it in, and ball inside as Beckerman's trying to work the count here. St. John continues to run the bullpen a little bit. And the delivery upstairs, swing and a miss, strike three. And down goes Beckerman. So St. John scoreless and hitless, and virtually has not put the ball in play yet.
Yeah.
Goes down, and we're going to go to the top of the fourth with Oak Ridge Bluejays leading 3-0. We'll be back in a moment. All right, welcome back to the top of the fourth as we're zooming along here. And a new pitcher, Brenna Walk, in. She gets the foul ball off the foot. So new pitching change here for St. John as another freshman comes into play. Looking at Brenna's stats here, Brenna has a 4.2 ERA with 18 strikeouts. And the windup and pitch, and that ball's driven over to left field and is caught, though. Nice job there by Autumn Warner.
Yeah.
The left fielder comes right in and makes the snag. So out number one as Walk goes to work. And that's going to bring up number 5 for Oak Ridge. That's Shannon Long. She's the DH here. As Brenna Walk from the windup. Throws a nice little curveball and just misses. Count goes 1-0. So Walk came in the other day against Clearwater and did a great job.
Yeah.
Just unfortunately didn't have a lot of defense behind her. And nice play there by Ava Huber as she comes up hard with that one. And that's out number 2. Brenna was able to come in and get a lot of fly balls and ground balls.
Right.
And it just unfortunately just made a lot of little silly mistakes.
Yeah.
That allowed Clearwater to keep coming back after the initial first inning for St. John. And I think St. John scored 9 or 7 runs or something like that.
7, yeah.
Yeah. So they scored 7 runs, but was not able to do anything after that.
Yeah.
And they were up 7-3, and then just Clearwater slowly came back, and then there was one inning that Brenna came in at, and
yeah.
they scored
in the
4
later
runs
innings.
or something like that, and it was due to a bunch of just like a Mickey Mouse stuff.
Yeah,
so.
that was like the top of the 5th. They
Yeah.
kept making all those mistakes and errors.
So, not bad by the freshman. She just gets in there and just digs in as the count goes 0-2 with 2 outs right now as the batter's fighting her off. And there's a hit to Huber. He throws her out. Nice job at shortstop over there. And that's out number 3. So Ava Huber comes up quick on a slow roller over to shortstop and throws the runner out. And that's it. And they go down 1-2-3.
Yep, good job by Walt coming in.
Absolutely. So going down to the bottom of the 4th here, St. John looking to try and make some contact as the top of the lineup finally makes its appearance for the second time, and we'll see if there's a change in momentum here as we go to the bottom of the 4th. So check in with us. We're down by 3. We'll be back in a moment. All right, moving into the bottom of the 4th here. Top of the lineup, Ava Huber goes to the plate. Struck out last time up. Just about everybody struck out
Yeah.
last time
Yeah,
up. So
that's
hopefully we're
true.
going to see a little change here as the windup in the pitch as she fouls it off. As Deckard's bringing the heat here. So 0-1 right now, down by 3. St. John looking to try and make some contact here and make an adjustment at the plate. They're going to have to shorten their swings up. And she goes to bunt and looked like it was going to come fair, but stayed foul, and that's strike 2. So a little quick fake out by Huber, and that might have actually gone if it would have stayed fair. But the count goes to 0-2, and she's going to have to shorten the swing up, maybe move back in the box a little bit. So Huber digs in here. Deckard wind up and pitch, ball up, and the count goes to 1-2. Huber a hard swinger and has been pretty solid.
Yeah.
She went down swinging the last one. As Deckard likes the pitch she wants, and the wind up and delivery, and that ball is right down the middle, strike. She gets her frozen, and that's out number 1. So great pitch by the pitcher. She's got a little
Yeah.
twist on it,
Yeah,
and it looks
I
like
know.
it's going
I
to come
seen
at her
it
and just
too, yeah.
come back a little bit. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And it stays level. It's not like a a high
Right.
roller or anything. So with one out, that brings up Beckerman, and Alyssa Beckerman, the DH, takes a cut at it and just misses.
Yeah.
She goes 0-1. Beckerman went down swinging too. As St. Jen's hitters trying to figure this out. And the swing and a miss, strike two. So St. Jen giving up a tough inning in the third with just a number of walks, really, that manufactured the runs. There wasn't really anything that Oak Ridge had to do that warranted any, like, real hits or manufactured runs through, just swinging and coaching. It was just straight up walks.
Just walks and one low IQ decision made.
Yeah. And the delivery fouled off. So Beckerman hanging on there, 1-2 with one out. As the wind starts to pick up just a little bit here.
Yeah.
So 1-2 with one out. As Deckard, the pitcher for Oak Ridge, gets the sign she wants and comes set and sends it back. Foul ball as Beckerman staying alive. If you're just tuning in, the visiting Blue Jays here from Oak Ridge have a pretty decent record right now. They are 19-2. St. Jen's 11-8 right now, and they're 11-1 on the road. So the Blue Jays are pretty solid on the road right now.
Yeah.
St. Jen 11-8 dropped a home game against Clearwater just recently, and counts 2-2 with one out. Beckerman keeps fighting it off, and she hits this one down third base line. So she's, rule of thumb, the longer a batter's in there, the more comfortable they get.
Yeah.
And they're getting the timing down of the pitcher. So the count 2-2 with one out. Beckerman fouling off quite a few pitches here. Maybe figuring it out. We'll find out as the delivery. And the ball's hit down third base line again. And a nice little battle here between the hitter and the pitcher. Just the kind of exchange you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
And Beckerman looking for a chink in the armor here as she digs in. Fouls that one off. And the count stays 2-2 as the dugout's getting a little more pumped up over it. So Beckerman sits in at 2-2 with one out. Deckard looking for the right pitch here. She gets the sign or what she wants, and she sets up, and here comes the pitch. And that ball's fouled off. So what a battle here we're having.
Yeah.
It's the Little Wars.
I know.
Let's win it now, Alyssa. Come on, Alyssa.
So 2-2 with one out. Down by 3. And that ball's low, and she's working the count well at 3-2. And it's this kind of performance here that sometimes can garner a little bit of momentum for a team.
Right.
As she sits in at 3-2 with one out. Deckard looking to try and sit her down, and the pitch. And the ball's low and inside, and great job of hitting right there by Beckerman, who ends up walking. Great battle, and that brings up Chloe Staffen, one of the #1 hitters for St. Jen. Staffen batting .596. She has a number of home runs and quite a few RBIs. And there's going to be a pinch run move there by Coach Keim as she puts in Lila Nix, #9, to run for her. And with one out, St. Jen having their best opportunity to try and generate a run or two here.
Yeah.
Staffen went down swinging last time up. Let's see what she does this time. And the pitch in motion, Staffen hits one just up in the air back to the pitcher. She catches it, and that's out #2. Not exactly what you want there, but that brings up number 24, Aniston Creamer. Creamer, free swinger herself, And with a runner on, might be able to do something here. Creamer batting .267 with 12 RBIs, 5 strikeouts on the season. And the delivery, ball up. So Aniston waiting for the pitch here. Decker on the mound, comes set, comes to her. Sends a fastball, fouled off. And the count goes 1-1 with 2 outs. Decker likes what she has, and the pitch. Swing on and miss, strike 2, another fastball, knee high.
Yeah.
And that's going to go to 1-2 with 2 outs. Nick's over at first. Down by 3. St. John trying to find a lifeline here. And the pitch, and that ball's right on the outside half, strike 3 as Decker sends her on a chair. And that's going to end the inning. So St. John comes up empty with getting one run on a walk, but nothing doing as far as hits as we go to the top of the 5th. St. John's down 3-0. All right, welcome back to the top of the 5th. As Brenna Walk, the new pitcher, this is their 2nd inning. The freshman comes set on the mound, looking to try and set things down. And the delivery inside, ball 1. Walk has a unique delivery style.
Yeah.
You know, as a batter, especially the first time up, seeing the way she goes down, she comes up and then she swings it around and then sends it. It could throw you off, but it did not throw that off, as the pitcher just drilled one to left field, and that's her 2nd double of the day. So Decker, the leadoff, and the pitcher has had 2 doubles today, and really she pretty much is the only one who's had a hit.
Yeah.
Today in the game. She is dialed in. So with a man on second, no outs, Walk looking to try and pitch herself out of this. And there's a hit to Huber. Huber chasing her back, and they got her in a little hang-up here. And they could get her. And let's see what happens. It's going to be a rundown, and she's going to be safe at third. Doggone it. And so after catching the runner at second in a rundown, they come up goose egg to get her, and then the hitter ends up having to run to second. And so they've got second and third with no outs, and looks like she might have knocked the wind out of herself on the dive to third base. As there's a timeout. So it looks like that's going to be, she'll be all right. She'll be good to go. And now with second and third and nobody out, that brings up the number 3 hitter. Number 15, Madison Ruling, the catcher. Walk from the windup, delivers a strike. And Walk feeling probably a little bit like it was the other night over at with Clearwater. She gets him to hit a ground ball, which should be an out. It turns into something, unfortunately, not good. And that's fouled off for strike 2. And with no outs right now, Oak Ridge sitting pretty, looking to try and score and add to their lead, as the score is 3-0 with a man on second and third and no outs. The delivery, and it's a swing and a miss as the bat completely flies out of the batter's hands, but not before she strikes out. And so that's out number 1. Great job by Walk there.
Yeah.
And that's going to bring up a new batter with 1 out. So that'll bring up Madeline Schimmel. And Schimmel, the right fielder, takes the ball inside for ball 1. Schimmel looking to try and get an RBI here with just 1 out. Send it up into the outfield somewhere. And
right.
Walk throws that ball just a little bit up and out, and it's ball 2. So she's going to give Schimmel you're going to give her the opportunity to do it, as the hitter is ahead in the count in the pitch. And that ball's hit up in the air, and 3 people are arguing about it. Pitcher comes down with it, and that's out number 2. So great job by Walk taking matters into her own hand.
Yeah.
And catches the ball.
It scares me when they do that, you know.
Oh, yeah, and make no mistake, there's a hierarchy in the infield on who calls what. And in that situation, if the first baseman makes the call, everybody peels off.
Yeah.
But there's 2 outs now. Walk trying to get herself out of a jam here. Nice play by Huber to snag the ball, but the run scores as it's a base hit as she dives up the middle and stops it, and that really saved 2 runs.
Yeah.
And so with 2 outs, we've got split on the bases, first and third, and that brings up Adeline Burnett, the second baseman. Burnett looking to try and get one in the outfield somewhere, maybe find in a pocket in an RBI as Walk delivers. And that ball's hit up in the air, should be the end of the inning. And the second baseman, Cook, calls it, catches it, and we're out of the inning. But not before 1 more scores as we go into the bottom of the 5th. St. John trailing by 4. All right, we move into the bottom of the 5th as St. John looking to try and get something going here, as they've only had 1 base runner and no hits on the day. A walk and the delivery, that ball's fouled off as Ava Greer steps up to the plate. So Greer batting looks like 333 right now. She's a free swinger, and the delivery, ball's up, and the count goes to 1-1. So definitely tough outing right now for the Lady Dragons. And the pitch, swing on and miss, strike 2 with no outs. Greer trying to get on here as leadoff. She'll take it any way she can get it.
Oh, yeah.
We used to have a guy play in college, and he was our number 8 hitter, and he could get hit by a pitch. He was hit more than anybody by a pitcher. And he knew how to lean into it. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you know, obviously that takes guts, and you got to be really crazy, in my opinion, especially
Yeah.
when guys are throwing, you know, upper 80s or, you know, mid 80s.
Right.
And he's taking them on the chin. Meyer hits that one up, and that's out number 1. Ball 1 for number 13, Brianna Pfaff, the right fielder. Pfaff batting .400 right now with 16 RBIs, trying to do something here. And the delivery, swing on and miss, strike 1. So Pfaff sees a good pitch, takes a hack at it, just misses. Pfaff, a junior, digs in, and the pitch, swing and a miss, another big cut, just misses.
Yeah.
So you can definitely tell speed's a factor here. And anytime you got somebody who's blowing cheese, you got to make some adjustments on your swing. Delivery, fouled off. 1-2 with 1 out. Pfaff trying to get it on as the leadoff. St. John needing to manufacture some runs as time's running out. They're down to their last 7 outs. Technically 8 outs. Now 7 outs.
Yeah.
Strike 3. That brings up Cook. Cook batting .256 with 8 RBIs. Looking to try and hit something here as she digs in. Kramer delivers. And that's strike 1. 2 outs here, down by 4. St. John desperate to try and get a base runner. Cook looks the ball in. Swing and a miss, strike 2. 0-2, 2 outs. And the delivery. Ball up. So Cook working the count. St. John trying to find some daylight here.
Yeah.
And the delivery by Kramer. Up and out. Ball 2. So the count goes back to even with Deuces Wild on the board. On an overcast, cool day. Wind's not much of a factor. That ball's fouled off. Nice day to be out in the park. As Cook digs in and looks to try and get on. And the delivery. And that ball's on the outside half corner, strike 3 as Cook sits down. And that's going to be it for the St. John Dragons at the bottom of the 5th as they have got goose eggs on the board. So that's going to take us to the top of the 6th. The Oak Ridge Blue Jays are leading 4-0 as they go to the top of the 6th. The St. John looks to try and stop them from going any further. And we'll be back in a moment. All right, that brings us back to the top of the 6th here. With me is my partner in crime, Kyler Plunk.
Yeah.
Kyler, what do you think so far?
Well, not Clearwater.
Oak Ridge.
Oak Ridge pitchers been pretty dominant so far and causing us many problems.
All right, thank you. Yeah, that's okay. I'll get it right next time. And that ball's hit into the gap. And that's going to be extra bases.
Thank you.
So a walk gives up a double on the leadoff there as it's 0-1 on a 0-1 count. And Shannon Long steps to the plate. Long the DH, number 5, takes a strike. So Oak Ridge, good leadoff there, getting a good lead on. Man on second. Opportunity to score again.
Yep, good start.
And ball inside. Count goes to 1-1. Walk with the swing. Swinging that arm like a battle hammer. Ball 2, 2-1. St. John looking to try and settle down here with no outs, down by 4. And a swing and a miss there, and that count goes to 2-2. So walk brings the count back to even. And walk gets the sign and the pitch. Ball low. Count goes to full. Well, with no outs, Oak Ridge sitting pretty here for another RBI opportunity as the pitch is delivered and it's up, and that's ball 3.
Yep.
And we're almost in the same situation we were last inning. Second and third, no outs. And that's going to bring up the number 9 hitter. Number 2, Haley Ward, the left fielder. And the delivery, she looks bunt, can't get it down. And, you know, as a coach, that's probably exactly what you would want.
Right,
Your number 9 hitter, bunting him over, and that brings up your hottest hitter on deck, the pitcher, who's had 2 doubles today.
Right.
Drilling them down left field line. And the delivery, and that ball is hitting to left field. And it's going to come up, and they're going to be stopped, and so bases are juiced, and that brings up their dangerous hitter. Number 31, the deadly Kaylin Deckard. Deckard right now has been pitching a whale of a game. She's got a no-hitter going, and she's 2 for 3 as she steps in with bases juiced.
Yeah, great game.
Walk digs in, and the ball's hit up. She may have got too excited and caught by the third baseman. So great job by Walk to get her to pop up and keep that from happening. And that brings up the number 2 hitter, number 9, and that is Kinsley Bogenpole, the shortstop. So Kinsey looking to try and pick up an RBI here. She just needs to drive one out in the outfield somewhere with players in, and that ball is hit foul. So with infield in, they're looking to try and get a quick, ground ball, throw it into the home plate, tag out, and stop an extra run from coming in. So Walk on the mound with an 0-1 count with 1 out, trying to dig herself out. And that ball's hit into the outfield, and it is caught by the left fielder. She gets it in and attempts to throw it home plate, but no show, and that's going to be a run and sac fly by the hitter. Was it Ward?
Yeah.
And so that's going to bring up the next batter with 2 outs and an extra run on the board as St. John's down 5-0. Walk digs in. Ball 1. So a good piece of hitting. Did exactly what she needed to do with a runner on third.
Yeah.
So the number 3 hitter digs in as Walk delivers, and that ball's hit back to Walk. Step and throw, and she's out at first, and that's going to end the inning, but not before the Blue Jays score another run. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. St. John down 5-0. And St. John's down to their last 6 outs. We'll be back in a moment. All right, welcome back to bottom of the 6th. It's going to be the top of the lineup for St. John. As Ava Huber's going to step to the plate. Huber looking to try and get on for the first time today as St. John's trailing 5-0. And they have no answer for the pitcher, Galen Deckard, number 31. Deckard 2 for 4 today, throwing a shutout. And I'm sure if you are anyone in St. John's lineup, the one thing you would like to do is wreck that with a base hit.
Right.
And she takes ball 1. Looking to try and get on. Doesn't matter how. As a leadoff, that's her job. You were batting .373 with 9 RBIs. Very rarely strikes out. Has 5 walks on the season. And the delivery, she goes to bunt again and hits it up in the air and is caught by the pitcher. And that's out number 1.
Well, that was a great job by the pitcher.
Yeah.
I mean, the bunt was not a very good bunt, but
Actually, it wasn't Huber. It was Autumn Warner. I got the wrong player. The left fielder, Autumn. So
Beckerman fouls one off.
So Alyssa Beckerman. No, not now. I'm saying the wrong one
Olivia.
again. Yeah, Olivia.
That ball barely didn't go over the net right there.
She was swinging though.
Yeah.
She's number 9 hitter right now. And she digs in, and the pitch. Ball low. Counts 1-1 with 1 out. St. John needs a runner on base.
Desperately.
Beckerman trying to be that runner. She's going to try and work the count here as the windup in the pitch. That ball's up 2-1. Deckard hasn't lost any zip on the ball, that's for sure.
Yeah. Still bringing the heat.
Yep. Beckerman digs in, fouls it off the hands, and that's strike 2. So the count goes to 2-2 with 1 out. Down by 5. St. John desperate for a runner. Deckard likes what she sees there. Checks the wristband and delivers. Beckerman holds off, ball 3, so the count goes to full. Good job on Beckerman working the count to full with 1 out. Something's got to give here, so we'll see what Deckard dials up. Fastball, and that ends the shutout, or the no-hitter, I should say, as Beckerman just hits a double. And nice job by her on a 3-2 pitch. So the number 9 hitter, Beckerman, comes in and makes a nice little snag. And she was batting .308 with 12 RBIs. Now that gives us an opportunity, possibly, to get a run.
Yeah.
As the no-hitter is knocked out, I don't think the pitcher, Deckard, was too happy about that. Well, now it's time to go to work. So with 1 out, she sends one in. And nice job of hitting right there by Ava Huber to the right side. They're going to go ahead and send in Beckerman, and she's going to score. And so on an error by the second baseman as it kind of goes under her glove, Huber trying to go to the right side does it. And that'll be a run for St. John as that brings up number 3, Alyssa Beckerman. She's batting .396 right now with 18 RBIs. And she had a great at-bat against Deckard last time and walked after just repeatedly fouling off ball after ball after ball. So let's see if she's ready to roll for a second round as the two go at it. And the delivery, and that ball's hit into center field, and that's going to be extra bases. Huber kind of stood up and got caught, not knowing when to run. And now we've got first and third, which would have been it. That would have been it anyways. And 1 out. And that brings up Chloe Staffen, number 33. So Chloe's been relatively quiet today, batting .596 with 30 RBI. She's looking to pick up an RBI here with a few home runs. Home run wouldn't be too bad right now.
Right.
So with 1 out and St. John down by 4, Staffen takes a hack at it and misses. And the count goes to 0-1 with 1 out. And this is in the best position St. John has been in all day. as they are in the bottom of the 6th with 1 out. And there's the pitch, ball up, and the count goes back to 1-1 with 1 out. Coach Kimes got to be a little careful with their runner over there at first. Nothing real, razzle dazzle here.
Right.
And the delivery, and that ball's fouled off the hands, and the count goes to 0-2. So Staffen gets in the hole quick and is going to have to dig herself out against Deckard. So 1-2 with 1 out. Beckerman at first, Huber at third. Deckard, the pitcher, throwing a sweet game, giving up 2 hits. And that's ball 2. And that's only 2 hits of the game so far as Deckard tries the corner and misses. And the count goes to 2-2. Staffen looking to try and pick up an RBI and keep her team alive here in this game. As the pitcher sees what she wants, and the pitch. Swing on and miss, strikeout. Nice job by Decker as she retires the number 3 hitter. And that brings up 2 outs. Still 5-1. And that's going to bring up Aniston Kramer. Kramer batting .267 right now on the season, looking to try and help her team out. She's got an RBI over there at third. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. So after basically being hitless and scoreless, St. John kind of breaking out this inning. And that'll be ball high, and the count goes to 1-1, 2 outs. St. John still has a chance to make a dent this inning.
Yeah, and able to capitalize off that error.
Oh, absolutely. They just got to put the ball in play somewhere.
Yeah.
So Decker on the mound pitches, and that ball's inside, low. Yeah. Umpire says she went around, so that's strike 2. So the count goes to 1-2 with 2 outs. And 2 men on as the pitcher Deckard, who's been pitching a beauty, comes set and brings it and sends one right down the hike, and that'll be strike 3. So leaving Duck stranded on the pond.
Yep.
St. John, though, is able to at least get 1 run out of that. And we go to the top of the 7th, last inning. Time's running out on the Dragons as they trail by 4. We'll be back to you in a moment. All right, and that brings us back to the top of the 7th, last inning for the Dragons, as number 11, Madeline Shamel, comes to the plate, and she takes a strike inside. So Brenna Walk, the freshman, still doing a pretty decent job up there on the mound as she digs in, and she fires back in the delivery inside and hits the batter. And that's going to be an extra man on base right there. So Shamel hit by the pitch, number 3 hitter, and that brings up the number 4 hitter right now. Number 19, Tristan Berry, the third baseman. So with nobody out, Oak Ridge has a man on by hit batsman by pitcher Brenna Walk as she delivers the first pitch, and that ball's hit up in the air to left field. It's going to kind of sail. Great effort by Huber to dive and try to make the catch into the fence. She seems to be okay, but wasn't able to come up with the catch. But great effort, and that'll be strike 1. So after a long run over there, she's diving for a ball, and she hits the fence head first. And Coach Keim comes out to just make sure she's all right. She suffered an injury last year that sat her out basically all season. I think it was it an ACL? or torn.
I think it was her elbow.
Her
or
elbow.
something.
Was it her elbow?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember it. And I think that's what they're looking at right now. And she's holding it. So an injury timeout for St. John. And we'll figure this out here in a minute as we'll be back in a moment. All right, so after a little cleanup action there, Ava's fine, and she's back over at shortstop. I guess she had a shoulder injury last year, and maybe she had a little bit of a cut there they were dealing with. So that brings us back to where we're at with an 0-1 count with no outs. Man on first, and walk delivers a strike for an 0-2. So with a count 0-2, nobody out. Blue Jays up by 4 with a man on first. And the pitch, that ball's hit up in the air, back to the catcher who fields it cleanly. Stafford makes the catch. That's out number 1. So good job pitching there by Walk again.
Yeah.
Brenna getting her to pop up.
Good execution by Stafford.
Absolutely. And there's only 1 out. That brings up number 10, Adeline Burnett. Burnett, the second baseman, had a little bit of an error there that allowed St. John to score their only run so far.
Yeah.
Looking to try and make it up here at the plate as Walk bears down and sends the first pitch. It's hit to the left side, foul. Fielded by their coach, thrown back to Brenna, and we'll go again. Count goes 0-1 with 1 out. So the score 5-1 right now. If you're just tuning in, it's the last inning. Walk delivers a nice strike there on the inside half. And the count goes to 0-2. So Brenna getting ahead of the count.
Yeah.
With 1 out, man at first, which she put there if she hit him. Looking to try and dig herself out, keep him from scoring again as she delivers the pitch. Ball's fouled off into the right side, and we'll try again. So Kyler, you said you just had your first open gym and for basketball running around, and you said you were tired. How'd your knee feel after coming back from that?
I mean, it is pretty much fine, and no worries at all, really. I mean, on defense, it's a lot harder moving side to side, but other than that, I mean, it is fine.
So for those of you who are wondering, Kyler had to have knee surgery in the offseason and wasn't able to play this year, and he's just coming back from it from the knee surgery, and so he's putting pressure on it for the first time on the court. And cutting and putting your
Right,
weight and
yeah.
everything. I know it can be a little scary thing. Ball's hit up in the air to center field. She's drifting, and she misses it, and she throws it to third. Oh, and almost gets her on the throw, but she's safe, and that's going to load the bases here. And so with nobody, just one person, I should say just one out, bases juiced. That brings up number 5 for the Blue Jays, Shannon Long. Shannon Long, the DH, looking to try and pick up some RBIs as St. John kind of bumbling around with the ball this inning. And that's strike 1. Walk with the bases juiced, ahead of the count. Brings the ball in. That ball's hit foul to the right side. It's going to drift. And she gets ahead of the count, 0-2 with 1 out. St. John down by 4, cannot afford the Blue Jays to score any this inning if they have any kind of hope.
Yeah.
Going in the bottom of the 7th. So Walk digs in with infield in, and the pitch, strike 3. So she sits her down, and great job pitching by Walk on this, as she is looking to try and finish out here. So the count goes 0-0 with 2 outs. And that's going to bring up the left fielder. And Walk sets up and delivers. Nice pitch. Just misses the corner.
Yeah.
And I believe that's number 2, Haley Ward, the left fielder. Ward, the number 9 hitter, had a base hit last time up. And the pitch, the ball's hit up in the air. It may stay in for Staffen, and it does, and Staffen catches it. And great job by Brenna Walk pitching herself out of a really tough jam there, as St. John holds on and is down by 4. So that takes us to the last 3 outs of the game. We're going to the bottom of the 7th here. St. John trailing 5-1. Tune in. Maybe they can come up with something. We'll be back in a moment. All right, here we go. So going to the bottom of the 7th here, we're going to lead off with senior Ava Greer. Greer haven't really touched the ball tonight. Looking to try and be a leadoff here and reach.
Yeah, much needed.
Yeah, she get on any way she can here.
Yeah.
And first pitch is strike on the outside half. So Deckard pitching a great game so far, only giving up 2 hits. Looking to try and finish strong as she is ahead 5-1 in the score, and Greer goes around, and that's strike 2. So already down in the count, 0-2 with no outs. Greer going to have to shorten up here and try to figure something out. Deckard lining up in the pitch. Ball's up and out. So she gets another pitch. Let's see what happens. Count goes 1-2, down by 4. No outs. Greer looking to get on here. And a swing and a miss, strike 3, and that'll send her down to the bench, and that'll bring up the next hitter, number 13. And that'll be Brianna Foff, the right fielder. Foff batting .400 with 16 RBIs, trying to get on here. She digs in, and she takes ball 1. You almost think maybe you might have them just take until they get a strike here, being down.
Yeah.
Deckard's been pretty consistent, though, in the strike zone. She's not giving up too many balls, and that's ball 2. So ahead in the count, 2-0 with 1 out. Bob can kind of grind in on a fastball here if she sets it up. The delivery, ball out, ball 3. So looking to possibly get on St. John will take a walk.
Oh, yeah.
That'll bring up ball inside, and she does take the walk. And so St. John has something going here with a runner at first. And that brings up number 28, Kennedy Bowen. Bowman batting .500 with 5 RBIs. So Bowman looking to try and drive something here with a runner at first base as St. John trails by 4 with 1 out. And she hacks at the first pitch, fastball right down the middle. Bowman doesn't get cheated much. She swings hard.
Yeah.
So with 1 out, nobody, well, I should say one person on. St. John looking to try and do something here. And the pitch, low and in the dirt. Count goes back to even. Decker trying to finish this game. She's pitched a good game so far. The only run that came was at the hands of an error at second base, really. As the windup in the pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. So infield playing even, really, as Pfaff over at first with 1 out. Down by 4, counts 1 and 2. Decker delivers, swing and a miss, and down goes Kennedy. So St. John left with 1 out left. They're on their last out. That brings up number 2, Autumn Warner. Warner batting .308 with 7 RBIs. And the delivery, swing and a miss. Catcher thought about snapping it back to first, pulled it back though. And the count goes to 0-1 with 2 outs. Down by 4, St. John's opportunities are running out. Snap throw to first. Nothing there. Timeout called by the runner. Warner sitting at a 1-1 count with 2 outs. Trying to work the count here and get on any way she can. The delivery. Ball out, and the count goes to, well, he called that a strike.
Oh,
so
wow.
Another 1-2 count. I mean, I thought it was a ball, but
Yeah, me too.
and with the count 1-2 and 2 outs, she's going to have to protect the plate. The pitch, wild pitch in the backstop. Runner's going to advance to second. The count goes to 2-2 with 2 outs. So Deuce is wild on the board as Warner looking to protect the plate here. Can't afford to let the outside pitch that seems to elude the consistency of the strike zone by. The delivery right down the middle, and that's it. Strike 3. And that'll end the game for St. John as they fall to the Oak Ridge Bluejays 5-1. So St. John season basically going to 11-9 now on the season for their record. Will be pretty soon going into district play as this is their last home game of the season and the last one for the seniors.
Yeah.
Well, we thank you for tuning in, and we appreciate your viewership, and we will be broadcasting next week for the last game for the baseball, so our baseball team. So we'll be back to see the boys in action next week, I believe on Wednesday or Thursday, I don't know. We'll have it in the live thing set up for you. So tune in next week to hear us, and it'll be probably our last broadcast. So signing off. Tyler, anything?
Nope.
All right, well, thanks for tuning in. Again, St. John loses 5-1 in a 7-inning game against the Oak Ridge Bluejays. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you later.